Hello, welcome to another Studio Central Facebook Live. For those that don't know, Studio Central is a part of Art Beat Studio, which is a nonprofit organization that believes in the healing power of art. So we offer studio space and art workshops to anyone to have time and space to focus on creating as well as their mental wellness. So I'm Ollie, social media community coordinator for Artbeat, and I will turn the camera around and have Kate introduce us with, get us started on the art workshop.
Hello and happy spring. We're here and did we call our live ready for spring?
Yes.
We're very ready for spring outside. It's still, the snow is still there, but it's melting, which is awesome. And as we're talking about some of it before, I would just kind of share a little part of our conversation with Megan, because this piece from last time that we made, it's
I love it.
brightening or something. What was the exact word?
Oh, I don't know. It just sets my soul on fire. I don't even know. It just makes me happy.
So what we did was having a piece of decorative sand, no gravel on this one, I think. It was just decorative sand mixed with different mediums, which was, I'm not sure we used gesso for this one originally, but for sure it was afterwards that it was Mod Podge and acrylic. And then we resined it, and also we used tape. One of our artists helped with taking the tape off, but it's still not sanded or taken any pieces off the edges that are extra. It was just taking tape off for now. And then it's still a bit sticky on some areas, so we would give the time to completely cure, and then we could file it, paint it partially or not paint it at all. I kind of like it this way, because it has color already, but we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, and the top has a little bit of painting on it too, I think.
Yeah, so this side can be filed, and then it might be re-resined, added another layer of resin, or it could stay the way it is, because this piece does not demand, it does not demand to actually do something to show it as a museum piece, and it was not meant to be.
I love it. I would put it in a museum. It's going to go into, well, as long as I'm able to actually purchase it, as we've talked about, it will be going into my personal, pretty much Artbeat museum.
Artbeat museum, and it's a donation to Artbeat, and this was created by many artists. It has some, let's say, what is the hardest for people to think about is when you make a purchase, this piece can be breakable. So when you buy something breakable, you consider if it falls, it might be damaged, and it might be heavier than a normal piece just because of resin, but this is quite light comparably to other pieces that have more layers of sand and resin that they need. So this one is lighter, and I feel like it will stay very good on the wall and everything. So you can just measure the weight and feel like it's not too
It feels like it's the kind of thing that it would be pretty simple to mount on the back with
wire.
With some wire, and that will secure it for sure. There's ways to make that safe, and I think honestly, the amount of resin that's on this, I'm not sure if you can see on with the camera at the right angle, but if you see those textures, the way that the resin went over the sand and all of these little details, it's absolutely stunning.
It's peeking out,
It
which
is
is
so
awesome,
cool,
right? I like this.
I love
effect.
that. I think it's gorgeous.
The resin on this turned out so beautiful.
It is stunning.
And thank you to all the
handle
artists
this,
who participated, artists from Studio Central, and anyone who visited the show. It was the piece everyone was welcome to paint on, so it's a lot of people who worked on this piece and added their own ideas. So let's just put it aside somewhere, let it dry, and we are moving to our little piece of our live demonstration. We talked about different artists that are here, not physically, but they have pieces of their own. They might not live in Winnipeg. Some of our artists moved somewhere else, and this artist was well known living in Winnipeg, and then he moved to another location, and he's going to have his own fair in this summer, and we're talking about Jamie Hogaboam. Abby would read his bio for you.
Jamie Hogaboam was born in California in 1965 and grew up in the Elmwood neighborhood of Winnipeg. He began painting at a young age, creatively depicting hockey and football players while getting paint all over his mother's tables. In 2001, he started his journey as a professional artist. Art has given Jamie's life purpose and an opportunity to express his passion. Art is meant to stir our emotions, is the mantra by which Jamie lives his life. Jamie is an alumni artist of Art Beat Studio, Artist in Residency program. Jamie creates hyper-realistic portraits, landscapes, and nudes as a part of his recovery. His artworks have made their way across the world to the United States, Europe, and Afghanistan. Jamie Hogaboam's original artworks are available at Upbeat Artworks, located in Portage Place Shopping Center.
Awesome. And what we wanted to show is his piece right there on that
Right
on
on the wall.
Right?
No, you're not covering it.
Okay.
Let me zoom in a
So
little.
anyone is welcome to come to Upbeat, or you can go to our website, and little bit of change that happened to our website. It's a little bit off lately, and it was hard to it was a little buggy, but I think everyone had this sprain something a little bit. So we're hoping for the full recovery. Yeah, so we hope that it would be easier to access soon. We have quite a bit of what I wanted to discuss, but some discussions are not to stay verbal, and part of our discussion is when we talk about something and then we do it, and it explains way more than the words, because we could say all kind of different words, but until you see it, you don't know what we're talking about. If someone has this experience, you can relate or you cannot relate, or depends. But when you see a painting or a photograph, it's just visual. It doesn't have to be thought about anyhow, but the first impression at first, because usually when we see something, we do not go into anything verbal right away. We just look, that's it. And then the next, and the next, and the next. That depends on if you're an artist, if you're a photographer, or what you connect it to, or you don't have to connect it to anything. I have several photographs from Huntsville that I made last summer, and this one is what we're going to work today. It's a duck. There is some fish. I'm not sure if we want to paint the fish. If someone wants to add fish, no problem. But I actually was not focusing on the duck when I was choosing the image. We're working with acrylic and palette knives. So what I wanted to show was the movement of the water. And if someone gets to the duck part, that's good. We might not get to it. Again, a workshop that is available here. We close the store to do that live, to record it, and then we can share it. But then we open the doors, and someone can still work on something, but we need to do something in the store as well. And we just started. I did not even it up completely, but we have newer pieces or older pieces that were in the archives.
They're revisiting.
They're revisiting, and they're beautiful, but the violin is actually, I'm not sure if it was, because we got two violins. So one of them was here, one of them was not yet. So you can just look at the website again. The artists are Kelvin Free, Kaylin Peterson, and Sadie Pauls with a wolf. I'm not sure you can see the wolf well from this angle, but
Yeah.
these are the pieces
You can
that
see it
are
all.
added And I would balance them a little bit more before putting the labels on. I just put them loosely for now.
Leona's trees right there too.
And the beautiful trees from Leona. And we still have pieces from Brandon Rock there. We have Kathleen Crosby. We have Megan's beautiful set.
Those were made with the crystallized ice from last winter. Pictures of the crystallized
And you
ice.
can see the angels as well. You can come and purchase. Megan made these angels. They're called flower angels in our database, but you can give another name to them. Okay, I just wanted to show a different duck. It's not the same duck. I assume it doesn't look the same at all. And it was another photograph I took, but I did not take it for today's live demonstration. It's a mom with ducklings, and it's from Huntsville as well, from the Big Spring Park.
I like that one.
This is so awesome. So if you want to have a copy, and I brought some, donated some to Studio Central. So if someone wants to paint it, you're welcome to pick up these prints. Yeah, these are prints as well. And we have 1, 2, I don't know if you can share one.
You
One only in
I
Megan,
can see.
and then one for Abby and one for me. Okay, so we got palette knives. These are from Studio Central, and I brought my own, so I would be working with what I have here. We have paints, we got tape, if you want to tape the canvas. Also, I got a primed canvas. You can purchase it from Artist Emporium. You can purchase canvas either in pads, or you can buy it from Amazon. That depends on what's more convenient for you, but I would say just come to Artist Emporium to see all the variety, because there are canvas pieces that are big and that can custom cut it, I believe.
Well, another thing that's interesting is just the fact that it is canvas it's almost like a sheet of paper rather than a big bulky canvas that is mounted. So if you love the texture of canvas but don't really have the room for it, it's a really, or the accessibility to transport it, it's definitely a great way to have that look and that feel and the textures without having a big canvas.
So this one is primed cotton canvas, and there is a difference between canvas and canvas paper, but it's better to just know by painting on it rather than describing it, for myself personally. And this is a cutout, so I can just show, maybe you can see a little bit better on how it looks like on it's cut. Okay. Another little piece I'm going to work on, I'm talking about workshop time. I had 2 hours to work at Studio Central with the group.
I love this
So
one.
this is something I could make in 2 hours, but it definitely needs more work.
I like it a lot.
Love it.
So I'm going to work on it if I got time. If I don't, I don't.
It's very impressionistic, and I adore that.
I'm gonna steal some tape.
Yes, please.
Tape this mother down.
All right.
Is this stealing when you have permission?
I say stealing for everything.
My
I do
sister
too.
gets so serious about it. She's like, "You're not stealing, Abigail."
Oh my gosh,
I
yeah.
love that.
Okay. I'm just trying to put it the way it holds. I don't know. Someone was actually using it to hold things together. I'm not sure I can actually move this. My hands are not. I'll use tape.
Whatever.
Or I could just keep it here.
Yeah.
to do it, but I don't know that.
But if I keep it here, I would not be able to show what
If
I'm
you
doing.
want, you can pull this down just a little bit with these.
I kind of think I'll leave it the way it is.
I'll
I'll just take tape to.
Yeah, tape is a good idea. Take as much as.
Oh. Okay.
That that tape is making everybody a little feisty. I don't know, do I want tape? I'm not sure now.
I was never good at that. It's not my best.
I tape so messily, like I do it for all my watercolors.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is not gonna look good. Does this even match?
Okay, you cannot see the fish right here. It's covered with all this.
It's hiding. You know it's there though, but it's hiding.
I see you, Ollie.
Perfectionist. You can also take it from behind. You can come around this way.
Let's try.
Take a look, see you can
I
see
think
around
I did it even.
the
I
thing
think
there.
so.
There you go.
Oh yeah, that works.
That works. Then you don't cover the picture.
That works. Actually,
I
yes.
love when
Yay.
someone around us, uses their brain.
All right, let's see.
There you go.
Okay.
It's a little wobbly. I mean, I don't know.
It's just the water
I'm not
texture.
doing anything exact.
You are really. It's
It's 3D.
it's immersive.
All right. So what I want to start with, I want to have the colors for the base, and the base would be definitely we need white. A little tiny bit of black. Dollarama ran out of black paint, so
Could it?
they have a good selection of browns.
Black paint goes
No
so
black.
quickly, and I don't.
We don't
understand why
need too much
why
black,
don't
so just feel free to take a little tiny bit.
Yeah.
Just very generous. Okay, and I usually say when you have the structure, you can change the color and adjust it afterwards. Because at first I usually work with the structure, not the color. So the colors might not be the same as on the photograph. And while I paint for enjoyment, I usually do not focus on matching colors at first. If I really want to afterwards, if it comes up, it comes up. And enjoyment, not everyone has ability to settle for hours. And as long as I have this real patience time frame of myself, I got used to take out elements for the first sitting because they would make the task too complicated.
Yeah.
And I'm not moving this way. So I'm just keeping it a little bit easier. It doesn't mean easier, but it should be easy to me. So, okay, where's this? Light blue. I have light blue already. Okay. So I just take different blues. This one is Copenhagen blue and this one is peacock blue. And we got wet wipes. Wet wipes are a major element for me when working with brushes, especially palette knives. You clean the palette knife constantly, so this is something I would say I want to have.
I've never used a palette knife before.
Neither have I.
I've wanted to. I've used it once or twice, but not as intended. I've used it for different things, so I would like to actually try that, I think.
So we're not taking the browns. I even did not bring the brown. You know why? Because I was not going to paint the duck. I was going to just paint a shape
The water.
and focus on the water, but then we could always mix colors to create brown.
Brown is the easiest color
Yeah.
to get. You just smush everything together.
And I decided not to follow Dollarama's suggestion. They have different browns, they have no black. Oh well.
Do you know what makes the best brown actually? Light blues and oranges together. And it comes out like tan and caramely.
Yum.
I ran out of brown paint one time. My sister was like, you can just mix
Tiny bit of green.
I don't have brown paint. I only have like primary colors.
Do you really? That's really impressive. I get a little like shoppy, you know what I mean? I'm like, if I could have 56
But
variations, why
they're
not?
all Dollarama paints, so it's a bit iffy when I mix the colors. I have like a light pink and a red, depending on.
Depending where it's at.
You're
Yeah.
like,
I love mixing colors. It makes me happy. Oh, that was a bubble.
So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to
I don't know.
create the duck silhouette here. Not like with any color. I would prefer black.
Toss me the black. Thank you so much. Go when you're ready.
So I'm just starting this way. Just make something here, and it would be kept in mind that it's the duck. There we go. So I'm going to work around it. And again, there was no promise to paint the duck today. You probably see something like that at the end, right here. So it's going to be just a silhouette. So far. And we're going to focus on the water, and we don't have to repeat the exact movement, but our task would be to create water movement with a palette knife. And you know what? You don't have to match the color. Again, when you have it ready, you can always adjust it. You can add more, remove. So I would say do not worry about anything, and I just play more rather than think.
Sorry.
And then you can just tell what you feel about palette knives, because we have a good group of people who do not use palette knives as their tools. So you see, you can mix grayish and different colors that are not even there, but they can be adjusted later on. You can place things on top. So I do not focus on color at all. I just say dark, light, and mix them together like really randomly. So you see a spot, and you do not have to repeat it exactly, but what is important here is the movement, where it goes. And I'm not talking about the movement of the knife necessarily, but the movement of the wave right here. And part of it is darker, part of it is lighter, but you do not have to follow exact where it is darker, where it is lighter. So it's more of a playing and looking at, okay, this wave as an example, it's rounded, right? So it's a rounded spot right here. This one is straight, so we're just placing it straight. Again, when you try new tool, I would say focus as less as you can on everything. I don't know how is it possible for people who got used to think about everything, but just try to trust your inner resources, and usually people have something there. So the other picture was from Botanical Gardens in Huntsville, and it was very nice to visit and check on it, but the plane just did not give me a good feel. Alright, after I don't feel good after the plane usually. And it was just not as good because there are 3 different planes. Yeah, and it's hard. It was hard. Some people don't feel it as much, but I also was at the end. At the end of the plane.
The back of the plane?
Yeah. So I did not feel good about it.
Oh.
I bring the blues out. So even they're not there on the image, you can mix them with white and create a lighter shadow. And you can always remove it if you really don't like the grays. That we need to also consider that by itself, the print that the printer makes, normal, typical, regular, original Xerox printer, it does not show the same exact color as it is in the original. And some artists want to brighten the colors, so they bring more colors to brighten, and it's one of the purposes. But some artists change the colors for another reason. Like, symbolism is not something that I think about.
I love the concept of like either tinting or shading a color and seeing how far that spectrum goes that we can play around with.
What you create depends on your evaluation, definitely. And if I'm not the type of person that thinks about symbolic anything like while I paint. I do not give names to, like, if this duck might have a name, if you want to name the duck, no problem. It might have a name already. You can visit Huntsville and ask people if the duck's name is there. I just look here, I see rounded movement, and I repeat it as I can.
Hey Ollie, can I see the black one today?
Yes.
Thank you so much.
So instead of using black, just because the Lorama did not have it, and I did not want to ask Studio Central thinking, you know what, we can use other colors, because we're doing it for enjoyment. So when you want to not stress yourself out, you probably don't want to stress other people out. I didn't want to stress myself out.
Oh, it makes her happy helping people find colors and things.
Yeah, and you can always bother the creative assistant. That's what they're there for.
Ollie, can I see those 2 blues that are beside you as well? They are like calling to me. Thank you. Oh, there are so many colors, and picking colors is hard to mix and play with.
I can use turquoise that is not there, why not?
It's your own. You are doing an interpretation thereof. Amazing.
So something I don't usually do is working with the edge of the palette knife. This is something I do not like doing, but it might be helpful when working with water to create the texture and always will.
Guys, I don't think I can do this.
Mine is
Oh
very
my
abstract.
I
I
would
love the concentration you're putting into it, though.
Yeah, I'm trying.
layer it. Just keep layering. You got this. And whatever it is that you end up making, it will be spectacular. I used to go to those painting workshops and they'd say like, you don't have to do what we're doing. You can do anything you like. And there's this one gentleman that put like a sad face because he's like, this is my emotion right now and I'm owning it. It was amazing.
I want to throw some purples in, even they're not there. And we got this dark purple, which is called African violet. It's a very old paint, probably.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Yeah, it's just nice. It looks good. And I can just add some of it. And then I want a lot of white, a lot.
When it comes to paint, I love seeing the difference between what one person says is a lot versus a little. Like, everybody's different. It's like you could have one person that's saying, oh, I have a lot of paint, and they've got a little bitty squirt of it. And then another person's like saying, oh, this is just a little, and they've got like the whole, like half of the thing just everywhere. It's amazing. But that's the thing about paint. It's fun that way. It's okay to make messes. I actually really enjoy painting water, so this is going to be interesting to see how using these tools varies. Like I have some ideas on how I'm going to try to do this, but it's very different getting this onto the canvas.
How is your impression?
There's colors.
So far, it doesn't look like anything that is on a photo, right?
It looks beautiful though.
It's gorgeous.
So it's one of the techniques where you can let yourself completely loose and lose control, or you can gain control with time, back again.
Yeah, that's the fun thing about water is it's so like free in its movement that you can kind of just go for it.
I would say it's a very good exercise for many people to work with just a brush stroke rather than anything else. Just the direction. Because it's just a shorter brush stroke, because a lot of people who work with brushes tend to like the line is longer than needed. And this is an option to actually create a shorter brush stroke, which is done with palette knife. If we you don't have to use color, you can just use black and white, and then it's easier to come to terms with the picture quicker.
See, I like to sort of fill in my painting first, or like fill in the canvas, because I have a, like almost a phobia of seeing the white behind. So I like to sort of put a base on it, and then I do all my little detailing over top. And everybody's a little different with that, which is pretty cool. It doesn't bother me when other people have the pieces showing through, just my own.
And it's nice to go kind of over what the shape is going to be, so you have that continuity.
Yeah.
And some people leave the idea of creating the direction, but if it's only one direction, it would not create the movement. It would just be flat or moving in one direction, just standing. Well, just looking at what our hands do contrary to what we think we're supposed to do is one of the things that, like, why don't we do something that we want to do, right? But what you want to do might not be the original plan of your own. Okay? So you might not know what you're doing. In most cases, you don't. Unless you have the exact result you want to see, but the result is a photograph. So we created a photograph, or someone else's photograph. So planning that is not something that I would discuss, like, I don't like it. It's hard to talk and think at the same time. Is there the big? I just put
It's like flow, 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 talk, 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 flow, flow, flow.
yeah, it's hard to do
Yeah.
two things at once. That's why what you see here is a distracted painting. It's not a focused painting. And when artist begins working on things, it might feel like you cannot talk and create at the same time at all. And then with time, if you don't have the necessity to do that, you usually don't. And I was not really talkative while creating. So I would say someone would talk here, it doesn't bother me at all, but for myself to focus on the conversation would be hard. How does it feel?
It feels freeing, but also it's not giving me the results I want.
Yeah,
But
you
then
definitely have to adjust.
I'm like be more like not nice to myself in my head. I'm like shh.
Yeah, you just gotta no thoughts when doing this. Unless you want to think.
Well, it sort of makes you realize, okay, how do I get this effect that I'm looking for?
Yeah.
What movement, what pressure level do I need to make this happen? What color were you looking for there?
I'm just scoping out the colors.
Right. You're gonna need the white again right away.
Oh yeah.
And that's sort of. Ooh, thank you. I didn't realize there were two of them. Yay. There we go. It's gonna be fun to make.
Yeah, you know we're focused when we just get entirely silent.
Yeah, dead silent. Focus.
Usually it's recommended to work on the same painting and try different tools through it. And an artist would usually create some part with palette knife, and then I would not use palette knife to create this center. Some artists would, but for myself personally, I would want to probably work with a brush.
I feel like I want to go home and watch some technique videos on this. Normally when I paint water, I do it like finger painting, so it's different trying to create these textures and the motion with a palette brush, like when you've never used one. It's a really unique, it's a really unique thing.
So this is the movement it can give. I prefer usually this type of knife. If you want to use a different version of, like this guy is usually something I don't even use. This type, or there is another one, but this is most convenient to me, like this. And usually this one is the least convenient to me.
The one that I'm using?
Yeah.
That's funny. Okay, I will try that and see how that goes. I don't know, I'm not sure what I think. I've never tried that.
Okay.
Oh, do they have like a stereo? What is that?
It's a something.
That was that. I'm not sure if you can hear online there, but somebody just walked by with maybe a big stereo blaring. We're not sure what that was, but it was loud. Can I borrow some of the aquamarine?
The turquoise?
Yes, please. Thank you so much. That works. Yes, turquoise.
I don't know, it's so white for what I'm doing. So at first I place colors, then I start working with light and dark. So I usually work on this stage is just white and black. So I just basically put, again, it's the movement. It's where it goes. In between, if I want to add something in between, I would add the colors that I have already on my palette. Scratch, scratch.
So I'm doing a little differently.
Oh, it's my sister.
Oh my goodness.
I see a little one.
That's my niece Alice.
Oh, such a cutie pie.
My foot's so asleep. Yeah, I'm off. What time is it? 2? Yeah, I'm off. We're just doing it for fun. Do you want to see? I've never used a palette knife before.
Oh, I love them.
The digital palette. My sister does art too. This is Anna, my sister. Yeah.
Hi, little one. Oh, we went to the garden.
How was it? Really beautiful. Aw, so she came 45 minutes. Oh shit. I had trouble. You made the duck.
I did.
You did the duck.
I have the duck.
Oh, you're amazing with like all those little details. Like
Thank you.
I can't.
I actually struggle because I'm not very good at doing like clean details.
Lies. You are amazing.
And I'm a bit of a impatient painter. So I kind of learned to embrace it.
Yeah.
And work with.
It's hard to release. I'm super detail oriented. I was, now I'm just all colored.
All color.
All colored.
Mine looks like finger painting.
Finger painting is amazing. That's what we need to do one of these days is finger paint on here. I love finger painting.
I'm weird about it. I'm like, my nails. Wow, Kate.
Yeah.
Getting there.
Those colors.
Kate does a great job of getting the lights and the darks and everything.
I love it.
It will be there. No, it won't be purple, it will be yellow. I just created a silhouette I work around, and then I'm not sure I'm working on the duck today.
No, I love it. I love all three colors. It's my favorite. So I'm hungry. The baby's just running to see, but I'm not sure if you guys.
Fair enough.
I'm worried if she makes up for
It's just like, no, none of this. None of that pizza.
Yeah, no, she's screaming for you too.
Yeah, we can, like, I'm off now, so we can.
I'm in a rush. I just need a place I can shower.
Okay, I'm gonna do a little bit of white.
I ditched the little pink stroller over by the library. It was just too much.
Too much.
Yeah.
Too much too soon.
I think one of the bigger kids sat in it at our house. It was all in bank over the floor.
Some very abstract ducklings.
I think just the colors and how they cooperate together is quite an interesting talk. Yeah. So it works here. And even the painting is the stress-free painting. I wanted it, like a stress-free painting. So I do not want to add elements that would make me feel like I don't want to paint it anymore. No. Which is also coming from discussions with other artists that sometimes, get through like great, feel of you want to work on it and then it just disappears,
I hate that.
right? So you don't want to create the break by yourself.
I really like when I feel almost energized, like I have to get something down. That's my favorite.
I feel like the palette looks, you should scoop more than one color and have it like passion strokes.
Instead of
Try
all
to
of
mix
these
it all
boring
mix
ones.
it on the.
Yeah, I definitely am.
That's just me.
No, that makes more sense.
She's cute.
The next door neighbor girl.
I don't know, is that she? Little native chick?
I don't know. The one across the way, the little girl will like hug the mannequins.
Oh, that's creepy.
The kid mannequins.
Oh,
I'm
that's
like,
super
she just
creepy.
needs
They're
some
such
friends,
cute-
man.
Has she ever come over to visit?
No,
Oh, she should.
I just see her from afar.
There are some amazing children that make the small amazing. Like that little girl that comes in and just her mother brings her in.
Oh yeah, to look at the moons.
Yeah, they
Is it
look
like
at
a
all the
community?
art.
Yeah.
It's just amazing. I love how people share art with their children. It makes me happy.
She'll come in and she'll point at things and say what they are every day. Her mom's like pushing her in one of those car strollers.
She's just so excited to see everything and to learn new things.
Yeah, she's pumped. Pumped on life. So mine looks like a tumultuous Arctic sea.
Here, like, should I, like,
Interesting. Like everyone gets different results with the same tool, usually. I would not get the same result
yeah.
like with a different mode in a different setting.
Mine looks a little like my ducks are melting.
Oh.
But it's okay, we'll fix it up later.
I don't know what mine's doing.
Thank you. I think it's working well. I saw Kate use green and I was like, ooh, that looks good.
Yeah. I want to add more green, but the green I brought is running out too.
We have lots of yellow and blue.
Come on. There we go. I started off being so purple heavy. I was all about that perp. I'm gonna let it go.
Did you let it go or did it let you go?
It let me go.
Or maybe it's just holding the frame of your picture.
And my like tape is disgusting. Like I'm all over it. Oh, there's a dark purple.
Uh-huh.
The things you learn when you look around.
You look up from your painting for 1
Yeah.
second.
Should I actually mark the big yellow so it looks more like a duck?
You have to reach all the way across the table.
And I can get the pink too, actually. I can add some pinks.
Okay, this one. Maybe ducklings.
Aw, poor babies.
I'm a believer that.
I'm a believer.
Yeah, that's it.
That's all.
Full stop.
Yeah, like what are you trying to tell me right now?
I'm a believer that there's nothing wrong with being ugly as long as it doesn't make you sad.
This is fair.
Well, what is that anyway? I mean,
I feel like I had to like come to terms with the concept of being ugly before I could start liking how I look. And now I'm like,
You have to get to rock bottom with
Yeah.
it, and then it becomes a love-hate relationship.
but not even, it wasn't even rock bottom. It was just like coming, accept, like, not trying to fight my feelings, but just like accept them.
well, what does ugly mean? I don't like that
Yeah.
term because it's just the only things that I define as ugly are like, you know, when people are cruel. That's the only thing I think is ugly. Anything else is curious or interesting or invigorating or well loved or just, you know, experienced.
Well, the ducks turned into a big duckling.
It's gonna take some time to. Okay, I added some yellow, so let's go for pink. Don't ask me the logic, I don't know.
Your biceps must be just gangster, aren't they?
Ooh,
For
yeah,
holding
carrying a baby around.
She's just still rocking her. Like,
know.
I would be panting.
Just in case, because I don't know.
My posture is terrible. My hip just goes aside from me.
That's the mother stance. That's what you get.
It's attitude. It's
Yeah.
carrying babies.
Like, what if this is what I painted like? I don't know. I don't know if I would continue to paint.
Oh, that, you know what? Ah,
I like
these
it.
are harsh words. We need to set some boundaries.
Megan's
you know
gonna
what?
intervene.
And for,
This has been expressive and lovely.
exactly. And what is the purpose of painting if not expression? It doesn't have to be classically beautiful. Like it's like there's a stereotype to what beauty is. Some of the most amazing pieces of art are starkly contrasting to what society deems as beautiful, but they are beautiful to us because they are just so intrinsically variant from everything that we know, and I love it.
Be my life coach, Megan.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm like, I'd listen.
Well, thank you.
That's why I didn't take any art classes when I was a kid. My mom would try to push me.
Much more motivating than any of my classes ever were.
If you wanted to tell me anything about what art is or how to do art, I would have just looked it up myself.
Actually, when I was in graphic design school, my teacher had this one young gentleman give everybody an inspiration quote for the day before we started our day, and he always had the most just
Oh my God, were they
fantastic things.
inspiring?
Very inspiring. It was wonderful. Well, he was just a sweet guy, and actually I saw him here not too long ago. He's a good guy.
Introduce me, JK.
Right.
Just being a terrible person. I find that I'm fixing things but ruining other things.
You're adapting.
I'm figuring it out. Did you see me just wreck that corner?
You're not done layering. That's. I swear, if I were ever to host workshops, like if someone says I ruined it, I'll say no. You're just not done layering it. Keep layering it.
You should do like one of those wine and art nights.
I used to go to those. I went to over a year and a half period. I went to 52 of them.
Whoa.
Yeah, and they were my jam. I love those. But well, the lady that ran them, like she's not in the city anymore, so I kind of stopped. Like I love some of the other ladies that do them, well, and gentlemen. There's a couple gentlemen, but it was just a vibe that I miss dearly. I love that. And there's just rules that you don't judge paintings. You learn from them, whatever there is to learn from them. So here's what I came up with.
That's beautiful. It
Oh,
looks like
wow.
wallpaper.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that texture is so interesting.
It's just fun.
And we can get completely different results, which is awesome.
I love it.
And also this yellow might not stay the same, and not might, it definitely does not stay the same, because I'm going to shade it with some white and
The
brown.
movement looks beautiful.
So
I love
just
that.
what I got here, and
Isn't it cool? My work does this every Friday.
Mhm.
So we did the clovers one time, we did this, they resin the painting. It's cute. Sometimes she brings her daughter in. Her daughter's also really talented.
I know a lot of artists who just let it dry and cover it with one tone, like green tone, and just tone it green. or
Oh
tone it
yeah,
blue,
when
right?
you do a wash.
Right. Yeah, but the wash is one thing. Tone, like I see it differently, probably.
Yeah.
I need a drink. This is what I could do in like 2 hours of demonstration. I cannot paint, like 2 hours is probably something like this, and then I need to work on it for like, it can take forever, and I have a lot of paintings that I started during workshop. I come back home, and plus I work on a different project, and it takes my table. Another table is painted rocks. And my basement table has drying resin project, so I just cannot keep my painting anywhere right now. Plus, I have like tomorrow. I have a class at Little Building in the park. By the way, Megan, if you want to come,
Where is that?
it's 295 Pritchard.
don't know if I can, but thank you. Where, like, well, I'll message you if I'm able.
Yeah, so if you go like by bus as an example, you go Maine and Manitoba, and you just go down Charles,
Okay.
and there is Pritchard Park, and the little building in the park is like, it looks like a recreation center, which it
Might be.
it is. It is actually.
I guess it's good that it looks like one if it is one. That's
And it's
they are on brand with their notion. That's
I
amazing.
like it.
Pam, who takes care of the things there, she's amazing. She actually brings a lot of food every time.
Yeah.
So if someone comes there to have a really good like food before you actually start painting, it's a good place to come. If you
That's perfect.
want to come and drink some drinks, have like, there is like quite a lot of food that you can sell, which is and you can bring your own if you want to bring it.
You want to end it here and
I
say,
like it
Yeah, I
because
think
this
we
is
will
like
just end it
sharper.
here and then kind of keep on working on it. And,
it's a bit just more of keeping to play with it.
yeah, but you see, as the result, so this one, there is something to work with already, definitely. So even if you don't like what you see, it's not the finished product,
Yeah.
right? But if you want to work on smaller lines, you don't have to use the palette knife anymore. You can use a brush. And I think I would take a brush and go with a brush, like that's a second layer, and also with a duck. I might still use palette knife for some areas, but I'm going to switch probably to another tool and work on that. I cannot guarantee it would be finished quick, but I can tell that I did something today. I worked on my brush stroke with a palette knife. Okay, so that's what I can claim, right? And then whatever I'm getting afterwards, I'm getting afterwards.
Yeah.
I made a mountainscape.
That's amazing.
It looks beautiful.
But not water.
It's its own thing now.
Yeah, it's its own journey.
There can be water running
I
down the
like
mountain.
this.
I'm whitewashing my duck.
That sounds interesting.
Just started
Yeah, what are you trying to say to me?
I don't know what to do with that. Like, I'm not touching that. We're bad. We are so bad sometimes.
Okay, yeah. So we'll end it here for today, and we'll keep working on it, and we'll see everyone next
See you
Friday.
Next Friday, it will be in April already, or is it still March?
Almost.
I think it's still March.
It's still March?
If it's April, then we're not gonna be here the first Friday of April because it's Good Friday.
Yeah.
Because our Friday, yeah, I think it would be Friday that we're closed, so it's 2 more weeks then.
Okay.
If I'm not messing up.
Yeah.
with the
If there's
calendar.
another one in March, then it's next week. If there isn't, then it's
Let me check
2
my
weeks.
calendar. I'm gonna check my calendar. We are on a roll with this today. This is where we're at.
You're
So
just buttering your dog.
yes, so next Friday is the 31st. So we will be here.
We'll be here, okay.
Yes.
And then the Friday after it's when
Yeah.
we're closed.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.